Alright guys, today I wanted to show you a little bit of our new template that we're going to be using going forward on Sunday mornings. This does look a little bit different than what you're used to seeing, but I do think that this format is a little more flexible and sets us up for more success going down the road here. So I'm going to show you how this template works and really just some differences, but also some similarities as far as how we've been using Ableton in the past. So the first thing you're going to see is that unlike this other view that you're used to seeing, where things go from top to bottom, and we hit the master here for 1, 2, 3, 4 to fire our tracks. This is really going in a different format. So this works from left to right. So song 1 right here is This Is Amazing Grace. Song 2 is He Is Faithful. Song 3 is God Is Able, so on and so forth. The nice thing about this is that it just goes. So I have this built in, so when I hit 1 here and I hit the space bar and it starts, this will keep going until I tell it to stop. For transitions, this is really nice because you can see here I have This Is Amazing Grace right into He Is Faithful without stopping. Right there, really easy. So once you hit the first song, it should go all the way to the very end of the third song automatically for you, which is really helpful. So I think that will be a good thing. Let me break down a couple of these things up over here on the right and what they are and what they mean, and then we'll go from there. So of course, the first thing you're going to see is your click. Nothing new here. This is just a click that we have for all the songs that we use. The second one is called a tempo track. You don't have to worry about that too much. That allows me to automate tempo a lot easier. So because I'm the one building the sets, you should not have to worry about messing around with the tempo track too much. This guide is exactly what it says. It's simply just a guide track that as you go through, it tells you where you're going into the song. So verse, chorus, intro, verse. This is nice because if sometimes with some of these songs with the bridges, or if we're going to repeat a chorus, it's just nice to be able to see that we're going into the chorus again, or how many bridges we're going to build before we actually come in full. So that's really helpful. This is the custom mix. This is the actual loop here. So if this is turned on, if it's yellow, you're going to hear the loop, as you can hear it here. And then down here is the MP3. So this should usually stay muted unless you're going to use this for a reference. So for example, let's say over here at the verse, you want to hear how the vocalist sings it. So you can just hit it and then turn this on. And it's already set for you automatically. It's in sync. It's in the same key. This will be great for practicing. That way you don't have to search around for different parts of the song for the loop, and you can jump around without any problems for practice time. So I really like that a lot. I think that will really help us out. The other thing down here is Pro Presenter. These are the cues that trigger Pro Presenter on the other iMac in the auditorium. So these are going to be set. Don't move these around. There is one thing that you'll have to do to get this talking to the iMac every morning, but I'll show you that in a minute. The next thing here is the pad track. This is really helpful, and you only see this really on songs where there is no loop. Like for instance, This Is Great I Am. We did this as a last song because Pastor wanted it that way. So I just put a little pad here. So when we're playing it, oops, let's see. There's just a pad sound. Really light, really subtle, but just something to have as far as filler goes, which is really good. The other one down here, the vocal cue, this is going to be used if we're doing a custom mix, meaning like if Calvary decides to edit a song or make our own arrangement, I'm going to add in vocal cues manually to each part of the song. That way we know where we are in that song. And then the bottom one here is the stop track. So this is used more as like a fail safe. I have it over here. So let's say you finished the last song, you forgot to hit the space bar and the track is still going. Well, once it hits this bar, it's going to stop by itself. So I just have it in just in case. I've never had to use it, but it's just always good to have in the set because this will keep going until something or someone stops it. So that's kind of a brief overview of how this template looks as far as format goes. One nice thing about this is that if I hold my mouse over this gray area, I get this little magnifying glass. If I click and slide up or down, I can zoom in or zoom out. So it's really easy to be able to see whatever you want. Also, you can always, these little down arrows here will give you more insight into whatever's here. So for custom mix, you can see the actual audio, MP3, Pro Presenter, same thing here. So you can always see those things if you need them to. Okay, let's talk briefly about Pro Presenter. So this track here is really all set up, except for one thing that you have to do every Sunday. You have to tell the computer in the booth to talk to the iMac across the room. The way you do this is by hitting Command Spacebar. So you're going to open up a Finder or Spotlight search. And from there, if you type in AUD, it's going to autofill for audio MIDI setup right here. We want to go ahead and open this up. So just press the Enter or Return button. You'll see that nothing comes up in the window here, but we do have it launched up here. If we go to Window and go to Show MIDI Studio, you can tap on Network right here. You're going to see Calvary's computer right here as long as you're on the same Wi-Fi network, which you usually are always on the same Wi-Fi network. Once this pops up, tap on it and then hit Connect, and then you're good to go. Now this computer that I'm on is going to talk to the computer across the auditorium. So once that's set and ready to rock and roll, then you're good to go automatically. The only other thing you have to be aware of is I have a lot of hotkeys for this template to make life easier for us in the booth, because I know when we're playing drums, it's not easy to play always with one hand or to set something else up. So you'll see here that I keyed a few different things. If you tap on C, you're going to mute the custom mix. Now you might be asking, when will this be useful? This is useful if Pastor wants to play like a verse or a chorus of a song after we finish it. So for example, let's say we're doing the song Forever here, okay? So let's say we're playing the whole song, right? It ends up, we end up ending it, and the pastor goes, let's play this part again. Well, what you can do is you can hit C, that will mute it, and now you're just on click. And I have all of these songs are hotkeyed. So if you hit 1, 2, 3, 4, it's going to walk you down all the sets automatically. So if you're playing and it's towards the end, if you hit 4 again, it's going to loop to the front automatically for you in time. So that way you're not worrying about having to find a new click, because once this runs out of room, there's no more click. It's going to stop the click automatically. So just tapping on the corresponding number that I have for each song will automatically in time loop back to the beginning, and as long as you have the custom mix turned off, it doesn't matter, because there's no loop at that point. So no matter where you are in the song that Pastor wants, it won't really affect it, because I have custom mix turned off. M is for MP3, so this will toggle MP3 on and off. On, off. On and off. Again, just easy. In case something gets turned on, you can turn it off quickly. Just makes life real easy for us. The last one is Pro Presenter. That's for P. Now, the only time you would turn this off is if for some reason the slides were not matching where we were in the song. So let's say we're playing a song, for some reason the slides aren't synced up correctly. If you hit P, that will stop that track from sending cues to Pro Presenter, and then the person in the booth can take over manually. So if it's working, keep it on. You don't want to turn that off. If it's not working, you can just hit P and it gets turned off automatically, which is really, really nice and really simple for us. So that really is all there is to it for this template. I did a lot of the hard work already. Everything's already mapped the way that we need it to be, and I will be making the sets still for now. So every Tuesday you should have something that looks similar to this. If you have any questions, of course, you can always reach out to me or just kind of ask, how certain things are going to work. But I think this will be a much better way for us to use Ableton, especially because I think it creates a little more flexibility, but also because going forward, as we start triggering more things like lighting and whatever else, we have more flexibility and more control over those things as well. So, all right, guys, thanks for watching. Any questions, let me know.